People, structures, and culture are seemingly unchanged since the dawn of their civilization almost 5,000 years ago. The Mayans have been one of the most resilient societies in Belize and the rest of Mesoamerica. Modern-day technology still has not reached and influenced a vast number of these isolated communities. The villagers here are quite accustomed and comfortable living off the grid and off the land. In an effort to continue its core mission to reduce poverty and vulnerability, Humana People-to-People Belize diligently organized the Strengthen, Empower, Enforce Human Rights project. The project encompassed a total of 10 indigenous Mayan and Hispanic immigrant communities in the Stan Creek and Toledo districts. Many families, community leaders, vulnerable groups, and law enforcement participated. This 3-year project commenced in December 2017 and is funded by the European Union through the European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights in partnership with the Belize Family Life Association and the technical assistance of the Human Rights Commission of Belize.
My name is Christoph. I am 8 years old and I have the right to play and rest.
The project facilitators educated these communities and local authorities on human rights, gender equality, sexual and gender-based violence, abuse, and discrimination. Women, men, and youths were all trained to expand their knowledge on these profoundly significant matters.
Human rights are the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world from birth until death. They apply regardless of where you are from, what you believe, or how you choose to live your life. They can never be taken away from you, although they can sometimes be restricted, like, for example, if a person breaks the law or in the interest of national security. These basic rights are based on shared values like dignity, fairness, equality, respect, and independence. These values are defined and protected by law.
An integral collaborator in the execution of the project was the Belize Family Life Association.
When we look at the 10 communities, they are indigenous communities. They're communities with very big immigrant population. And so a project like this was very important because these groups are especially marginalized when it comes to their human rights being violated all the time.
I like it because these people bring it to me in my community and in my home and my picnic. It is sometimes I don't have money for carry to attend the training with me, but no, all my picnic have the training close to me too.
My name is Shadeen Kal. I am 9 years old and I have a right to a name and nationality.
It was evident that some men in these communities supported the challenge of tackling these barriers, while others were more reluctant to let change take place.
from before you know the culture that the male will do this type of work and the female type of work. So it teaches a lot that yes, it teaches about equality, that you should have an equal balance of life. You help your wife and your wife will help you and so forth.
The Strengthen, Empower, Enforce Human Rights project strongly focused on the protection of women's rights and the termination of the marginalization of indigenous women. Gender-sensitive behavioral change exercises and psychosocial support were given. These helped victims of abuse to recover and also initiated the community to protect them. The trainers also concentrated and prepared the communities in the prevention of the plaguing sexual, physical, and emotional abuse of children.
The Belize from the Life Association, or BFLA, became a partner in the CHR project with Humana People to People, particularly to train community members on sexual and reproductive health and rights.
Villagers also traditionally believe that the men must go out and work while the women cook and take care of the children.
It's not to move away from a culture, but let's be responsible for ourselves as well. Because most women here don't know their rights. They just listen to others and saying, okay, this is your rights. But based on this presentation that we made, because we had our poster to explain the different rights they have.
The objective was to empower them and make them aware of the human rights that they have, and also to bring to their attention that in the country in which they live, the government has an obligation to protect those rights, and the government has signed certain conventions. So the training was to bring that to their attention and to look at their lives and the system in which they live, and to recognize that these rights that they have, which should be protected, sometimes there are gaps.
All participants were evaluated and equipped with the essential skills to successfully train others in their respective communities. Many of those involved slowly began to break free from these once dehumanizing conditions.
My name is Abnejko. I am 11 years old. I have the right to life and development.
I think the initiative of the project should continue, because the reason why is that I have learned something now. I'll be able to teach 2-3 persons, and that person will be able to learn from me. And if the project continues, we will be able to educate more people, so will be there more of us preaching the same song. It's the only way the message will be getting across to the communities, to the people's family, and to their people's home.
From the time the training has started up until now, close to the ending of the project, we have realized that people knew where to report these cases, but they were afraid to do so because of the treatment. So we have been working with police officers in the Stan Creek and the Toledo districts also to guide them on how to take reports and how to record reports. we have been working closely with the gender-based and domestic violence unit at the police stations so as to guide them as to who are these persons who are dealing with these issues in the communities.
My name is Liana Kukul. I am 8 years old and I have the right to help.
Comprehensive English and Spanish training manuals were received, studied, and later presented on by the participants.
Some of the topics that the Commission did deal with when we were down there were general human rights. We made sure that we handed out the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We dealt with women's rights, we dealt with children's rights, we dealt with equal rights of persons in general, the economic, social, and cultural rights, civil and political rights, domestic violence and gender-based violence, as well as the topic of human trafficking. So we covered a wide array of human rights and how people can protect themselves and their families and to be knowledgeable of each individual right.
My name is Jaden Chub and I have the right to education. My name is Brizelle Newtrup and I am 10 years old and I have the right of protection.
As an officer, we are trained and equipped on how to take and record reports from victims of violence. I am also responsible to assist and resolve cases reported by victims of violence.
So at this point in time, we can safely say that persons who have been receiving training, whether it be persons in the community or stakeholders or the police officers, have shown or have proven to us that they are ready to take on these challenges of reporting the cases and dealing with the cases and resolving them.
I definitely can say that on an individual level with the persons that I've trained, I've seen an impact in them as I watch how they ask questions, how they participated in the different sessions that we had, and even when they became the trainers and just their confidence in delivering the information. So I was very happy to see that persons who were very shy in the first week of sessions with them were confident enough to share that information with other people.
The task of educating every single man, woman, youth, and child within the far reaches of society still continues. Only by joining forces can we alleviate the causes of oppression and achieve real strength, enforcement, and power.